What up? What up? What up? All right. I am coming in late. Excuse me. I'm coming in late, so we're going to run through this real quick. All right. First up, we got a 3-game slate in the WNBA. Yesterday's picks went 2-0, right? First up, we got the Phoenix Mercury at Atlanta Dream. Dig this, y'all. Atlanta, in the last 5, they've been giving up over 20 points to everybody's front court. Indiana, 22 to their front court. LA, 20 to their front court. Las Vegas, 14 to their front court. Chelsea Gray had 9. 22 to Chicago's front court and 21 to Vegas's front court again. So we all know Brittany Griner is allergic to rebounds. I call her Joelle Wnba for a reason. She like Joelle Embiid. She just wants nothing to do with the boards, right? So naturally, I would go to Brianna Turner's rebounds. Okay, Brianna Turner is over 8 rebounds in the last 3 out of 4 games, and in the excuse me, in the last 3 out of 4 games, and in the last 6 out of 10 games when she plays 23 minutes or more. There's no Sophie Cunningham. I think Diana Taurasi might be out, so I definitely expect her to see more minutes, and she's had 8 rebounds in her last games against Atlanta. Only problem is there's no lines. So with Sophie and DT out, I think I'm going to go with Brittany Griner. She's over 18.5 points in her last 3 out of 5 games. And in the last game without Diana Taurasi, also in the last 2 games without Sophie. Mariah Jefferson burnt me like crazy the last time I went to her, but she's had 3 assists in her last 2 out of 2 games versus Atlanta. She's went over 4 assists in her last 7 out of 9 without Sophie. She's had 11 points in her last 3 out of 3 games without Sophie. My official play is going to be, for this game, is going to be Cheyenne Parker over 6.5 rebounds. Cheyenne Parker has went over 16.5 points in her last 4 out of 6. She's had 20 points in her last 3 out of 4. She's had over 6.5 rebounds in her last 3 out of 4 with totals of 10 and 8. And she's had over 6.5 rebounds in the last 4 out of 5 versus Phoenix. Phoenix in the last 5 is 0-5. Atlanta 1-4. It looks like the toilet bowl, but we already know one team is going to be in the playoffs, the other is not. Phoenix gives up 76.6 points per game. They allow 83.5. Atlanta gives up 84.5 points a game, and they score 82.5. I had the total. It's going down like crazy. I believe it's at 159. I expect it to go under because I just don't trust Phoenix to score. Definitely have some parlay pieces, some prize picks cook-ups for sure. But officially, give me Cheyenne Parker over 6.5 rebounds and super duper heavy lean. I might get there. Brittany Griner over 18.5 points. Like I said, no DT, no Sophie. She got to do something. And Atlanta's front court is, man, moving right along. We got, I believe Washington's at home. We got the Minnesota Lynx at the Washington Mystics. Yeah, Minnesota's on the road because I was looking at a lot of their home and away splits. So I'm looking at Elena Deladon, EDD. She's over 17 points in her last 8 out of 10 games, playing over 28 minutes. And she's hit her points line, which is 17.5, in the last 1 out of 2 versus Minnesota. Ariel Atkins, the first lady on the ban list this season. She's won over 10. She's had at least 10 points in her last 9 out of 10, 12 points in her last 4 out of 4 against Minnesota, and she's hit 2 threes in her last 2 out of 2 games versus Minnesota, including 4 threes in her last game. Natasha Cloud is a sneaky play today. I like Natasha Cloud over 6.5 assists. She's had 6 assists at least in her last 3 out of 6 games, and she's had 6 assists in her last 5 out of 5 games versus Minnesota. She's had 8 assists in her last 3 out of 4 games versus Minnesota, and she had 9 assists in her last game. Elena Deladon is back. Ariel Atkins is back. Naturally, her assists will go up. That doesn't deserve much explanation. On the Minnesota side, love Kayla McBride. She's been a train. She wasn't last game. Nobody on Minnesota was last game. It was just a poo-poo game. They've been playing above their heads and naturally, came back down the level. Kayla McBreezy, over 18 points out of 5 games, including highs of 21 2 times, and she's had 15 points in her last 3 games versus Washington, including a high of 24. I believe Nafisa wasn't playing in that game. Fizzy F. Baby, she's had 24 points in her last 3 out of 5 games, including a high of 29. She's hit that line in her last 1 out of 2. She's hit her line, which is 21.5, in her last 1 out of 2 games versus Washington. She's had 24 points in her last 7 out of 10 away games. Nafisa Collier and Kayla McBride, they're Oh, what's up, Flo? I love Azure. We're gonna get to that. The Azure train gonna keep on rolling, man. I love Azure. She got that Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon game, that Ralph Sampson. She belonged in the '80s. Nafisa over 24 points in her last 7 out of 10 away games. Nafisa and Kayla McBride, I don't know, for whatever reason, they have crazy away splits. Like, they just perform out of their head in away games. Also, everybody talk about Washington defense. Washington defense gives up the 4th most three-pointers in the entire W and the 4th most free throws. And Nafisa can get, a little three free throw. And if she can't do it, then Kayla McBride can do it. The Lynx, so I did actually write this down. Lynx, the Mystics are favored by 6.5. The money line is 300, and the over/under is 162.5. Definitely lean this one to go under, and I definitely lean the Mystics to win this one for the simple fact that the Mystics need this one. They are sliding, and as soon as they keep on sliding, they're going to find themselves on the outside looking in of the playoffs with Chicago taking that 8th seed. I don't think that's going to happen because I think they're going to win this game and kind of right the ship. The Lynx are 3-2 in their last 5. Washington is 3-2 in their last 5. Lynx are scoring 80 a game. Washington is scoring 80.4 a game. That'll give us a little over 81 right there. Lynx are giving up 85.1 a game, and Washington is giving up 81.2 a game. I just lean it to go under. I lean some people to get clamped. I lean it to get under. However, we could have an explosion by Elena Deladon and Ariel Atkins, but I lean it to go under, and I like the Mystics to win that game. In the first game, the Phoenix and Atlanta game, I took trailed Flo. Shout out to boy Flo, man. Go follow him. Great looks, sharp, super sharp, on point like Stacey Adams. I tell Flo on a Atlanta first half -4 and 4.5. I just don't think Phoenix. They're on 5 in their last 5. I mean, they're tanking. The tank is on. I don't think they play Diana Taurasi because for what? The season's over. See you next year with Skylar Dickens, All right, so that's the first. And then in the second one, I like Washington to win it. No really thoughts on the spread except that the Lynx should be able to cover that 6.5. I think the Lynx could cover that 6.5. They have the firepower to do it. I know Jessica Shepard was questionable. I've been just like busy and getting my numbers all morning. All right, last but not least, we got the Chicago Sky at the Los Angeles Sparks. Chicago Sky 2-3 in their last 5. LA 4-1 in their last 5. Chicago putting up 81 points a game. Chicago allowing 83.6 points per game. LA putting up 79.2 and allowing 80.4. The total is set to, I don't got the total for this one either. I'm slipping. However, in the WNBA, all totals are right around 160, give or take. I lean this one to go under. It's just two teams I really don't trust to maintain the scoring. Will there be some scoring? Absolutely. Will we see 2 to 5 minute long scoring droughts? Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if we did. So let's get right into it. Kalia Copper, it was her birthday yesterday. Been tracking her on IG, seeing what she's up to. Getting drunk, was at Nobu a few hours ago. However, they got the late game. But I think that if you're anywhere close, like if you're hungover or more or anywhere close to it, running up 94 feet, is not going to be pleasant. Kalia Copper under 16.5 points in her last 4 out of 5 games, and under 4 out of 5 in her last game straight up. Plus, like I said, it was her birthday. My service went back. Oh, okay. What up? What up, Marcus? Do I like Collier rebounds? Hell yeah. That's another flow play. Like I said, follow Flow, Sports with Flow on YouTube. Collier over 7.5. Collier over 7.5 rebounds. Washington give up the either, if not the most, it's like Washington and Seattle. They give up the most and the second most. Rebounds in the league, front court soft, even with Shakira back, front court soft, even with Deladon, front court soft. So I love Nafisa over 7.5 rebounds. That is a tale from Flow. I mean, I did the research, I found the play, but I got on Twitter and my dog had already posted. So I'm not going to sit here and take credit for that, but I definitely telling it, and I definitely love the play, especially if Big Jess Shepard is out. If she got ruled out or in, let me know in the comments. Right, so Kalia Copper's birthday was at yesterday, right? So I seen her getting fucked up on IG, and then I seen her at Noble for her birthday. It's her 29th birthday. She's supposed to, you know what I'm saying? She's supposed to do her thing, have fun. However, she's under 4 out of 5. And historically, if you go, okay, Jess Shepard is, oh yeah, fucking stop playing. Feezy F baby rebounds to the sky. Like, just what are we talking about here? Kalia Copper, if you go back, like if you go to ESPN and look at the game log, right, then you can go back years, okay? So Kalia Copper's birthday is 8/28. You look at her logs on 8/29, they're poo, you know, and I don't blame her. You know what I'm saying? She's in her 20s. She probably turned up on her birthday that day after. So like I said, man, Operation Fade Copper, Fade Kalia is on. We taking it under 16.5. Hopefully it gets bet up. 17.5, 18.5, that'll make it more comfortable. But we rolling with Copper under, man. I said what I said, okay? Courtney Williams, man, one of the most inconsistent players in the WNBA in a good way. And by that, I mean, I don't know what she gonna do. She might go out there and get 20 points, might go out there and get 12 assists, might go out there and get 12 rebounds. I don't know. I think she had a triple-double earlier in the year against LA. But what I do know is that she's had 6 assists or more in her last 8 out of 10 games, and she had 13 assists the last one versus LA. Definitely a strong look. I might get there. I will be posting plays, all my plays if I get there. I try to get my lays in. We wrapping up this last game. Then just meet me over at Twitter. We're going to get straight to it. Marina Mabry. She's over 15 points in her last 3 out of 3 games straight up, and in the last 5 out of 7 games versus LA. If I don't like Copper, you know I like Mabry, and Elena Smith is out. So, correlation plus a segue, so we're going to call that segwelation. Big Liz, right? Elizabeth Williams, she's went over 11 points in her last 3 out of 4 games, and she's had more than 7 rebounds in her last 3 out of 6 games, including totals of 12 and 10. She's had 7 rebounds in only 1 out of her last 3 verses. But like I said, Elena Smith is out. So there's going to be a lot more opportunities for Big Liz to get her points and her rebounds. I believe Big Liz went off for 20 points last night. So I love Big Liz tonight. I will be officially taking her PR probably on a Prize Picks. But if I had to pick one, her points logs look a little bit better. So I would take. So I like Big Liz points over. I like Marina Mabry's points over. Mom Who Bets, what's popping? Thank you for the love as always. Go follow Mom Who Bets. She got a look. If it's her look, she done retweeted something, and we love you for it. I like Mabry over, Big Liz over, Copper under. Big Liz is PR. But if I had to, if we're not doing combos, just give me Big Liz points over officially. I like everything else. Love everything else. Flo asked me about Azurá. Let's get right into it. That's how we do it. Azurá Stevenson over 12.5 points in her last 7 out of 10 games. And she had 15 in her last game versus Chicago. If you know, then you know. She used to play for Chicago. She got drafted by Chicago, played her entire career with the Sky until last year. I may be tripping. I feel like when I search her GIF, her and the Dallas Wings jersey comes up. But nevertheless, she's had hella history with Chicago. So it I like to think of the revenge angle the first time that they go see a team after they left. And she's seen them a couple times, but the revenge factor can definitely be on display. Also, there's no Elena down there. Okay, so it's just gonna be Birch and Big Liz. So, you know, I like Azare to get off. Leisha, she's went over. Excuse me, Azare Stevens over 6 rebounds in their last 6 out of 8 games as well. Big Liz PR love it. Azare PR love it. That's 2 prize picks right there. Take Kalia Copper over 13 and a half, or Dak Prescott over 1 yard for week 1. Okay, the tickets just write themselves. Leisha over 12 points in her last 5 out of 6. I call it Clarinda insanity, man. She's been going crazy in her bigger role. You love to see it. Carly, is it Carly Lou or only Katie Lou? Anyways, Carly Samuelson over 9 points in her last 5 out of 7, and her last 2 versus the Chicago Sky, including 11 twice. Probably won't get lines for Carly, just like we didn't get lines for Brianna Turner. And then I found this. Somebody, y'all let me know if y'all found this. Nneka Ogwumike under 20 points in her last 6 out of 6 games straight facing the Sky. Like I said, Elena's out, so she might get there, but if anybody's going to get there down low in the post, I'm riding with Azare first before Nneka. Nneka's been a letdown recently. It is what it is. Chicago, 2 out of 3 in there. I already told y'all that. All right, so let's wrap it up. All my lays and builders, they'll all be on Twitter. All right. First up, Phoenix versus Atlanta. My official plays for this game are Atlanta first half -4.5. That is a flow tail, and Cheyenne Parker over 6.5 rebounds. Superiorly, I think that might be the new word I just made up, but superior strong lean on Brittany Griner over 18.5 points. If I do get there, I will let you guys know. Washington at Minnesota at Washington. I'm going to be a sneaky lean for this game. If Atkins gets in and gets her minutes, Atkins for 2 threes or more, over 1.5 threes, is only -112. They just gave Atkins $70 million. You know what I'm saying? So she's supposed to be the girl over there. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I really wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, be surprised if she got 2 threes or if she got 15 points. And that's like +136 over at FanDuel. So, I mean, if you like Atkins, do your thing, man. Atkins is banned to me, but the numbers don't lie. And she's been killing this line. Like I said, she's had at least 12 points in the last 4 out of 4 games versus Minnesota. So all I can do is give you the info. But sneaky play I like in this one is Natasha Cloud over 6.5 assists. A not sneaky play I like in this one is Kayla McBride over 14.5 points, and Nafisha Collier over 7.5 rebounds. So the official plays for this game will be Feezy F. Baby over 7.5 rebounds, Kayla McBride over 14.5 points, and Natasha Cloud over 6.5 assists. I love those. Atkins points or threes would be a sneaky look. Elena Deladine couldn't talk you off of it. Thank you, Marcus Young, man. Hey, it's just it's a community, man. It's a community. How we do this WNBA thing, this FIBA thing. We got NFL on the horizon, and we got NBA on the horizon. So I feel like the WNBA was like a good, you know what I'm saying? It was like a good challenge to the whole community. Like, kind of get out of our comfort zone and work together, you know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying, and make something happen. And I feel like we'll all be better for it going into NFL and NBA. I can't wait. So, boom. And then my official picks for the LA and Chicago game is going to be Azare Stevens over 12.5 points. Been a train. Big Liz over 10.5 points. Love both their PRs, which probably can only play it on prize picks. And give me Copper under, man, just for the culture. I might get there with her prize picks, Taco. But give me Copper under 16.5 for the culture, man. Yeah, that's that. I have like I said, I have all the lays and builders on Twitter. Probably finna go cook some more right now. Love, peace, Yuta Watanabe, and Namaste, man. We'll see y'all over on Twitter. Last cash and bets. Good luck on your cashes. Let's keep running the books like we always do. Got a nice slate tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow. And I kept it under 20 minutes, man. Let's get to this money.